Hi everyone, Melissa here with Imagine, and today I'm going to be making this beautiful card using a number of my favorite Memento inks in a very simple style. So you can do this method a number of ways, and it depends on how bold you want your ink. All I'm doing is taking my Memento ink in New Sprout, Cracked Pistachio, and Olive Grove and smooshing them onto my Imagine mat. Now, I really like these three colors together, and I kind of wanted to get a ombre type appearance. And so once they're smushed on, I spray a little bit of water on top of them. And now I'm taking a piece of Bristol smooth white cardstock and smushing that into the ink. And then I'm going to flip it over, and you see you get this beautiful textured kind of gradient of colors that look quite beautiful on the card. And again, you can do this a number of different ways. So the first method I'm showing you is right on my Imagine mat. And now I'm going to take some blues and do the same method. I have sky blue, I think turquoise zeal, and Nautica blue, but I'll list all of the inks that I use in the description box for you. And then again, spray it with water, smush the paper into the color, and then pull it up. And look, I love the texture that you get when you do this. But here's another way that you can actually use your inks, and you do use a little bit more ink from your pads this way, but I'm using the same colors that I mentioned before, and I'm simply just smushing that color right onto the cardstock. And the reason I like this method is because you get a much bolder, a lot more color on there than when it comes from the mat and transfers. But look at that, isn't that beautiful? I love those colors. So that's just a very simple method, and now I'm actually going to be using a Catherine Pooler die cut, and I'm just going to add that to the top of that background. But what I do decide is I think I like the green and blues together. This month at Imagine we're celebrating fern green, and since I used those beautiful green colors on that cardstock, I thought that what I would do is after I adhere this panel down to the blue with my favorite terra tape, I will go ahead and die cut. Actually, you can see I went ahead and die cut that green already. Now, in addition to the terra tape, I am using some on-point glue to get those little spots, and this is what on-point glue is made for. You can add it to small areas, and it will make sure that all those pieces are adhered down. So now I die cut this panel, and some of the little pieces stayed stuck in the die cut, which was perfect because what I'm doing now is adding glue to the areas where the blue ink is showing through, and I'm simply taking a pair of tweezers and kind of shoving the paper down. I'm kind of lining up the paper first and then using my tweezers to push down the insert that I've put the glue on, as you can see here. And that gets those little panels in there just perfectly. And so now I have the green and blue on both, and I think the two colors together, like I said before, look fabulous, and that beautiful fern green color that I get is wonderful. So now I'm just going to go ahead and finish the card. I've colored the little bird in alcohol markers and have fussy cut that to the side. And so now I'm adding the card panel to the base with my terra tape, and now I want a sentiment that matches. And so a lot of people don't use Memento for sentiments, but I wanted the colors to match, so I'm taking the nautical blue and I'm just inking that stamp up in my Misty, and then I'm simply stamping it down very lightly on the piece of paper, and you get a wonderful impression. And I love it that my colors now match from the inking that I did on the paper to my sentiment. So now I'm using my Memento Tuxedo Black ink to ink up that bird, and I'm not going to show you how I color it, but I did want you to know that I used Memento Tuxedo Black because it works great with your alcohol markers. And I'm stamping that onto a piece of Hammer Mill white cardstock. And once that's finished, I'll go ahead and color that bird up and fussy cut it out, as well as some of the leaves. I did not show you the coloring, but if you'd like to see some Copic coloring, you can head to my YouTube channel to see that. Again, I'm taking the on-point glue and adhering those leaves down to my card in a random pattern. And then I do take some foam dots to pop up the bird, just to give it a little bit of dimension on the card. I think the greens and blues work well with the blue bird and his little kind of honey brown chest. And now I'm taking some Pico embellisher and just making those berries kind of pop out. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial and you'll join us again at Imagine for more wonderful projects.